Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. This is a live show. I love live. I love authentic. It's one of the reasons I started it, so you can ask questions. So if you are watching right now, put your questions in the comment section. We will get to them. If we don't get to them, Al or I will answer them after the fact. I want to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Startup TNT next summit is starting here right away. Applications for investors and companies close next week. So go to startuptnt.com. It will be in the comments section shortly. And of course, we are only 2 weeks away from the Alberta Technology Symposium here in Calgary. We'll talk a little bit about that, what it entails, I'm sure, here with our conversation with a long overdue guest and dear friend, Al Degan. How you doing today?
I'm awesome, Jade. It's such an honor to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You know what I think is funny is we're going to have a conversation about tech today, and we couldn't even get our computers start.
Well, you know what? The problem with tech is it doesn't favor anyone.
No, when it doesn't want to work, it doesn't matter who you are or what kind of tech background you have. It wins.
Yeah, totally.
That always makes me laugh though, because I have those same problems. I'm like, oh no, my God. Of course, I'm panicking on this end. Al, did you get your stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully it works to use your iPhone when you have to in a pinch. So
oh no, that always comes in handy, right? So I want to, you and I have collaborated. We'll talk about this on not only in other things, in business and in work. You're a good photographer. I'm a great model. The blockchain. A lot of really, I've learned a lot from you, and obviously the respect I have for you is second to none because you've been a pillar in our community, giving back. I've modeled some of my stuff after we met, and I just wanted to say, before we start, thank you for everything you do, everything you give back. And that's not only from me, I think I could probably speak for everybody in our community as a big thank you for everything you do. So what I want to know is, where did this passion come from? Where did you find the passion to really start giving back? And then, of course, come into your new business, the New Idea Machine. Oh, Al went away. Well, okay. Well, we're still live. So he will answer that question when he comes back. And hopefully I don't have to answer it for him. But, in the end, for those of you who don't know Al, he's very involved in our community. He's the community manager at Inception U. He does a lot of great things, giving back into our ecosystem through the Rainforest, Alberta, through the Libby podcast. If anybody is out there and wants to host a podcast, a Libby podcast, you can get a hold of Al when he comes back. We'll talk about that a little bit. Or you can just go to the Rainforest. He's always there talking about it with Lunch Without Lunch. And again, when he started his company, the New Idea Machine, in, I guess it's probably less than a year now, we sat down with them, we brainstormed with them, we whiteboarded a lot of things. And obviously, we've been lucky enough to work with him, send him some leads, send him a few ideas on that end, and I just love the whole concept behind his business, which I hope I don't have to talk about too much longer because I can't do it justice. But taking those new developers and finding them jobs, putting them on the market, making a company actually, try before you buy type philosophy, and make sure that developer, that program works within your system. Most companies out there don't want to lose their employees, don't want to lose your employees when you find good ones. But Al and the New Idea Machine just love that aspect of it. They put it out there. They make sure that you hire the employees that they put in there, and make sure they understand exactly what is going on and if it's not a fit, then that's okay. We can, they'll come in and put somebody else in there, and in the end, you'll hire that person. So if you don't like the way Jade Alberts works within your organization, you'll come over there and have Mo, and Mo might be a better fit culturally, might be a better fit for what you want as an organization. So, for anybody that is out there looking for some help like that, and the oversight that Al and his senior development team give, is second to none. And again, I just absolutely love that about the New Idea Machine. Also, Al, he also gets involved in. He looks like he's coming back. I hope he's back.
Am I here?
Hey, you're back.
Oh boy, God, this technology stuff. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, I was just telling everybody that is listening that about the new idea machine and how it works and what's it do. But you know what? Before we could probably talk about that in a little bit, but why don't you talk about your passion and where it came from and how that evolved into the new idea machine?
Thanks, Jade. Yeah. Sorry, folks, for the tech. Yeah, I think I've always been pretty passionate about giving back. I don't know where it initially came from, but I think I kind of got addicted to that feeling of somebody smiling at you and saying thank you, that you really made a difference in their life. And I've all through my life I've joined my volunteer boards and stuff like that, so I could always try and give back in some way. And New Idea Machine, as Jade probably explained, this gives me an opportunity to just constantly give back as part of my, my career type thing. And then also working with Inception U, it's a great opportunity for me to give back to people who are trying to transition their careers into tech. So it's just, it all fits together and it's all really relevant, and makes me feel great when someone shakes my hand. I'm at the Mesh conference here at Platform Calgary right now, and this morning somebody came up to me and said, thank you for that introduction you made back in December, and I met this other person who introduced me to this person, and now I'm working at this company. So stuff like that is really really rewarding for me.
Oh, and I can relate to that. It's something that drives me, internally to give back, to make those introductions, to make sure capital or anything like that does not get in the way of moving our community and our companies forward. And I know when you were, brainstorming this idea, I was a huge fan of it. I just love that. It's probably not a term you use, but I was saying that try before you buy type thing, where you might not like a Jade Alberts. He doesn't fit in your organization, but then Mo's a good fit. And then all of a sudden, they come in and maybe become a CTO. And Nikki, thanks for that comment. But as she said, that you can actually use an IRAP grant to hire one of these developers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good point. And just to riff on what you were saying there, the whole try before you buy concept, we always hear that companies are always looking for senior developers, or they're looking for people with more experience. And the reason for that is because, well, part of it is a fallacy, but part of it is the fact that they don't want to take on the risk, right? If you bring a brand new developer on board, there's a chance that they may not know what they're doing, and there's a chance that they're going to be needing to get a lot of support and mentorship and stuff like that. But what happens in real fact is these people have tons of passion. They've learned how to learn, especially coming out of the Inception U program, where that's a core value of the program. They know where to find information and how to get unstuck. I mean, we were just working inside of it, New Idea Machine. We were just working for a client, actually just last week, where things were going. They were stuck. You were getting close to a deadline. We had slightly passed the deadline. Things were starting to look pretty bleak. And I was reaching out to my colleagues in the industry and saying, hey, one of my developers is really stuck. I need you to give me a hand. Can someone help me out? And by the time the emails came in to say, yeah, let me know what's going on, I'll try and help if I can, the junior figured it out themselves. Like there was two people working on the project, and they had a project manager as well. And the three of them were just banging their heads together, and they got past it and figured it out, and we were able to deliver the product. So they're very capable, they're very passionate, and they're willing to figure stuff out. So we as a company take the risk away by providing that backup if they need it. And so that's something that you wouldn't get just hiring somebody off of Indeed or monster.com or whatever. If you work with us, you get that opportunity to have an industry behind them to support them. So.
And some of these, when people always assume that the junior developer doesn't mean that they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they could have a ton of experience in other industries that are only going to benefit and enhance and bring different, thoughts and ideas to your startup, your business.
Yeah. And what a valid point there. Thank you for bringing that up. oftentimes when you look at a junior developer, you're thinking someone who just graduated from university or something like that. In the developers that we work with at New Idea Machine, and actually I should always preface this, is we also work with UI UX designers, product managers, project managers as well. But my main focus is developers. They actually are career pivoters, right? So you might have an oil and gas engineer who's been working in the industry for 12 years, and then they got laid off and they weren't able to find a job, and they decided to get out of that, yo-yo oil and gas industry and move into a new career building software. So they're not brand new people. Sometimes they're in their 40s or even older. We've had people up in their in their 50s that are looking to pivot their careers into tech. So these are experienced professional people that have now added on to their skill set with software development.
No, and that's one of the points that I really wanted to make sure that we got across today, right? I mean, I've had Zach on. What Zach is doing is great, right? With CITI and helping people, transition or get jobs, right? We've had,
yes,
Jason on with Icon to, that, maybe has a different philosophy than yours, but again, really wants to help. But that's more at the senior type level, and you can't become a senior until you become a junior, right? I mean, you need that experience, and it doesn't mean that you're not fit for the job. It doesn't mean you're not going to do. And your example there of being able to work through a problem and figure it out is, I think, a great example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And we're seeing some incredible success from people who have taken the chance on us and given an opportunity to one of our new developers. The accolades are flowing, and people are extremely happy. And like you said earlier, if somebody's not going to work out, we can pop somebody else in there with no harm, no foul, right? So it's a really great opportunity, and what an opportunity for people who have transitioned their career and now they're actually looking for a job. They're getting hands-on experience working with us, so they're going to be able to be more marketable as the longer they work with us, the more experience they have. I like to say to people, once you graduate from a training program, every single day that goes by before you get a job, you're starting to lose your opportunity to get a job. If someone, if a recruiter finds out that you graduated from your boot camp program, 8 months ago, and you still haven't got a job, then they start to wonder what's wrong with you. But if you come out of your training program and you join New Idea Machine, then every day that goes by, you're actually more likely to get a job because you're building experience working on real projects with industry leaders and team on a team environment. So it's really a cool opportunity.
No, and especially for non-technical co-founders, and this is where when I'm out there and I'm pumping New Ideas Machines tires, just for everybody to know, I do it. I've sent Al quite a few and things like that. I'm a big fan of this because
Jay's our best salesperson.
But as a non-tech guy, I want somebody that I can trust. I want somebody that I know that will work with me down the road and maybe turn into my CTO. But again, will be honest with me, be upfront with me, and be sometimes even patient with me as a founder, because I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't know Python. I don't know anything, right? So I think it's a really good way to kind of create that relationship and build that trust, and again, have somebody that you can build an entire internal team around.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, the fact that you referred to earlier about how these people are not right out of high school, they're actually experienced people. If you're looking for a tech co-founder or a CTO or somebody to lead the tech side of your business, why not grab somebody who has a lot of business experience, who's got, has worked in various other industries. Maybe one of the people that's on our team used to be a professional accountant or something like that, and you're working on a fintech opportunity. Well, wouldn't it be cool to have a professional accountant who's now pivoted their career into tech and is a programmer, have them working on your project as one of your main tech people? I mean, that would be a great opportunity. We've seen some really, really cool stuff like that, where people have had their background, their previous industry has actually been a huge benefit to them in the new position that they've taken on.
No, and especially, and we all know, I mean, everybody wears 5 hats when you're at a startup, right? I mean, you've got any time that you can bring anything from another industry or think outside the box or or put something on the table, it's so beneficial. Again, I'm talking to Al Degan, the founder of New Idea Machine. You can just click on the link, newideamachine.com, in the comment section to take it out there and find out a little more. And we could probably talk about New Idea Machine all day, but we have so many other. I want to, before we get into the kind of our how we work together in the Canada Blockchain Consortium, I want to talk a little bit about your VR. And I mean, just because I was lucky enough to have Matt Wright, about 8, maybe 9 years ago, bring me through a really high-end Mammoth XR system. But now you're starting to do a little bit of VR, host some meetings in the metaverse. Why don't you share that and when you're going to be doing it a platform?
Yeah, thanks, Jade. So I was invited to a sort of like a VR meeting, like a presentation on Web3, and I thought, oh, that's a really, really cool idea. But I didn't own a VR headset, so I ended up borrowing one from somebody, and it was like mind blowing, because maybe 20 years ago I was introduced to VR the very, very first time, and I was like, oh, this is cool, but you kind of turn your head and everything was kind of blocky and chunky, and it would kind of just chunk by when you were looking your head. And I thought, okay, I could see this being cool someday in the future, but well, that day is today. When you put these VR headsets on, it's like, especially in the meeting rooms, it's like if you're doing a business meeting, you're sitting right beside somebody, and you can high five them, and you can, it has spatial audio, so wherever the audio is coming from in the VR world, it'll come from that ear. So if a person's sitting to your left, you'll be able to hear them on your left. And when you turn your head, it's literally like being there. It's like real time. The graphics are crisp and beautiful. And so anyway, I just instantly got addicted to this. And Brett Zuber, a lot of people know Brett Zuber in the ecosystem, and he has set up 3 weekly meetings in the morning. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, if you have a VR headset, you can join in one of the virtual environments and just have a coffee, like a virtual coffee, getting to know people. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, a couple months ago, I was sitting beside this guy and I was chatting with him. He was really friendly and all that, and high-five him and stuff like that. And the guy was in Egypt, and it's like, it felt like he was sitting in the room with me, beside me. So now I'm like totally immersed and addicted in this, and I'm trying to learn so much about it. And what I want to do is I want to have more people at these coffee meetings, right? So it's like I'm getting introduced to new people. I'm networking through this virtual environment. So what I'm going to do is on April 21st in the afternoon, I'm going to be at Platform Calgary with a bunch of my colleagues, and we're going to have VR headsets. And I just want people to come by and just sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and put the thing on and actually have a real meeting with a whole bunch of real people in the virtual environment, just so you can grasp the concept here. You see videos about people using them in education, and mechanics looking inside machine, and doctors looking inside of human bodies and all that stuff. And all that stuff makes perfect sense, and I think it's great. But literally, let's get off Zoom and Google Hangouts and Teams, and let's get into a virtual environment where we can walk around and draw on a whiteboard and share ideas and presentations with people from all over the world and feel like you're in the room together.
I think that's cool. And, obviously April 21st, at Platform, anybody out there, come on down, check it out. I mean, it's really, it's as close as to Founders Coffee as you can get, rather than doing Zoom. I hate Zoom. Even when it was COVID, I would do walk and talks, right? Like unless it's absolutely necessary, will I do Zoom, and almost never if the person is in Calgary. So that's right out the window. But I mean, again, I think the VR and having that type of mentality in there is only cool. And I know you want to kind of you're the chair of our Web3 committee, and you want to kind of turn that into a virtual meeting, which I think is even cool.
Yeah, so the Web3 committee's been trying to do sort of like a panel or a workshop type event every quarter. And I had volunteered to sort of lead the metaverse panel. And then I was thinking, well, why should we sit in a place and have chairs and over Zoom or something, try and do some sort of panel when we can actually do the metaverse panel in the metaverse? So I'm currently working on the opportunity to figure that all out. We're picking a platform where you don't have to have a VR headset. You can actually go on your computer and take on an avatar and actually walk around and talk to people. But if you do have, steal your kids' Oculus from them for the day and enjoy the metaverse in the metaverse and get a real feeling for where we're heading, because this stuff isn't going away. This isn't a video game or a fad. This is the real future of how we're going to communicate and how we're going to collaborate with other people. And it's really a great opportunity. As innovative people, we should all be getting on board with these things and checking them out to see the early adopters. Sometimes there's a little bit of pain and suffering involved, especially with technology. But once you kind of get in there, you can be a leader in your company and start sharing the information and the knowledge with your colleagues and your bosses and all that. I mean, I know a number of companies now that have actually purchased VR headsets for all their staff so that they can actually have VR meetings and do presentations and things like that. So I think it's coming fast.
No, I agree. I mean, even when I was speaking at throughout North America, there almost 7 years ago, they were talking about it, right? And that's kind of where I ran into Matt and really started to dive into it. And then it kind of seemed to, I don't think we were ready for it as I don't know. Maybe the tech wasn't there. I have no idea why. I can't explain it, but I think we are ready for it now, and maybe with the metaverse and even some of the things that I've seen, and especially being involved in the blockchain consortium, and being around people that are very passionate like yourself and Nav out in Toronto, who's Mr. Metaverse and what he is doing out there and trying to bring the Canadian community together. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And again, I know on the new idea, thanks, Jin, for your comment there. It's, he's already, he's talked to a few people about the new idea machine, and he said unbelievable feedback, and he submitted an application. So, no, telling it like it is strikes again. So I guess I got a few more episodes left before I retire.
Oh, we don't want you to retire, Jade. Besides, this is fun for you. You don't have
It is fun. I mean, this is why we do it, right? These great conversations to share knowledge about what is going on in our ecosystem, and nothing makes me more happy than that. As we started off our conversation that way, right? So, what on the Canadian Blockchain Consortium, what's your goal for the Web3 committee? I mean, share people what you want to do, how they can get involved. Some of the things that you want to accomplish over the next, we'll call it, 3 months to a year.
Well, what we want to do is, because the adoption of blockchain is growing on a daily basis, but it's still relatively fresh and new. We're still in the adoption phase. We want to help a lot with education. We want people. There's a lot of, because it's so fresh and the technology is so crazy, there's a lot of scams and a lot of really, really not good stuff going on, but there's a lot of amazing stuff going out there. So one of the things we want to do with the Canadian Blockchain Consortium's Web3 committee is help educate people, help be a resource to people who want to learn about these things. If you're interested in getting into blockchain or any of the Web3 technologies, we are going to be a resource. We're putting on these webinars. We're going to be recording them and making them available. We're also, if you want to, attend the committee meetings, I'm pretty sure we can arrange for that as well. Reach out. If you go to the Canadian Blockchain Consortium website and you look at the teams, we're in the Web3 committee. You can reach out to us and ask us questions or get some advice or whatever you need to make sure that you're adopting or you're getting involved with blockchain. Again, blockchain's not going away. It's not a fad. It's not for, just for people who want to buy Bitcoin. It's actually an actual viable technology like the internet or a database or virtual reality. They're all actual technologies. They're tools that you can use to build really, really incredible technological solutions. And to just ignore them because they sound complicated is not the right choice. What you need to do is educate yourself and figure it out. And we're going to be here to help with that.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think that's bang on, right? We want to make sure, I had Andy from Terrigen on here a while ago, right? When we're here to educate and make sure that they don't get scammed, right? Because I don't care where you are. If you're a con artist, you're a con artist. Bernie Madoff, Sam Bankman-Fried, Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos, all of them, right? So, it's just like, when Andy kind of found out about us, we hooked him up with the right lawyers. We hooked him up with the right people to make sure that everything is done. He has a proper accountants, legitimate accountants. And yes, we do need regulation. We can dive into that another time, or more regulation. But again, making sure that, people are dealing with the right people, the right knowledgeable people, so they're not getting scammed. They do their businesses to, right, and set it up for success like any business in any other industry.
Yes. And just to riff on that one piece you said there about regulation, it's a misnomer. I mean, people actually think that people who are involved in cryptocurrencies and blockchains don't want regulation. The actual fact is the total opposite. What we want is regulation so that everybody has an even playing field. Everybody knows what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. I don't think there's a lot of actual crypto enthusiasts and stuff that you'll talk to that don't want some sort of regulation to make things fair and just and easier for people to get on board without getting scammed. Definitely.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I know some maxis out there that don't want regulation, but we won't talk about them. But you are right. 99% of the other people want regulation, want it to be, want the guidelines to follow. And that goes with your lawyers, your Deloitte's, your Osler. I mean, everybody wants it. If you want to become mainstream and have it accepted, as I said, regulation protects people from themselves. And that's what we need, that confidence in that system that, there's somebody there to protect us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which makes
100%.
sense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And how about, let's I want to go back to New Idea Machine a little bit here, because that's why we wanted to talk. That's why we did talk. I did a little explaining when tech went down in the beginning. Again, I am such a fan of what you're doing. I want to know what your goals are for, a little bit of short term here, maybe 1, 3, 10-year type idea of where do you think, the New Idea Machine can go short term and long term?
Okay, well, one of the first, as a startup, you move fast and you break things, right? And we started out, we came out of the gate, we were profitable within 3 months, and we had originally we were working with Inception U only, and they have cohorts every 6 months, so everybody got hired and we had no people left. So we couldn't wait another 6 months for more people to join us. So we said, oh, hey, Lighthouse Labs, hey, Edge Up, hey, SATE, hey, all. We went out to all of the different boot camp and short form training, upskilling type programs out there, and we said, hey, why don't you come in? Well, they were all on board, and so within a month or two, we had something like 130 people in our program, and it got a little bit out of control. We had to throw up a waiting list and start getting some processes and stuff under the way. We do now have things much more ironed out and figured out. We've spoken with our lawyers. We've got everything figured out to this point now, and as we move forward, we feel like we're in a really good spot. The clients that we've had, what we need really right now is more work. We need more people hiring from us, and we need more people giving us their projects. And what that does is, yes, it helps keep our doors open, but that's sort of a side effect of us being able to move more people into the ecosystem and get them into real career positions. You had Zach on about CITI, and he likes to talk about how many people have gone through CITI and been able to get jobs. We're in the exact same boat. It's all about getting people into career positions, getting people to be able to earn money as developers and UI UX designers and product managers. So what we need is we need people in the industry to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna work with New Idea Machine. I'm gonna get some newer people onto my project, and then we're gonna grow with the ecosystem. We're gonna grow with New Idea Machine and with these people. And guess what? If you throw a few hundred people into an ecosystem as brand new people, as long as you give them an opportunity to start actually working in the ecosystem, 3 years later, they're going to be into that intermediate sort of senior level of experience. and then the entire ecosystem wins, right? So it's a little bit of hard work in the short term makes for a much stronger ecosystem in the long term. And I like to tell people, if you're always looking for senior developers, keep in mind you're competing with every other company in the world that's looking for senior developers, and they aren't cheap. And you land somebody, you get somebody on board, it's like they're really expensive, and you're like, okay, we got this great person, and then somebody comes along and offers them another 30 grand a year to come join them, and boom, they're gone. Seniors are not plentiful, they're not cheap, it's great if you can have them, but you can bring a new developer in and give them opportunities to grow and become a senior, and then everybody wins.
Oh, and the economy wins too, right? Those
Yes.
people are now going to go to restaurants. They're going to go out. They're going to go to movies. They're going to eat. And whatever it is, they're going to be spending the money. So it's a win-win. So I mean, again, everybody talks about supporting local. I mean, it's time to put your money where your mouth is, and check out New Idea Machine. Click on their link in the comment section. I love that you have an ask here, and again, I know, yeah, it is important for you to obviously keep your doors open as a business, as a company, but again, I want to say you're kind of your purpose before profit. The Steal Pure Guidance's slogan is I know, I see it. I watch you do it, and helping these people get jobs and start their careers or transition from one career to another career. I mean, it's priceless, and we need more of that here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You and Pure Guidance have been an amazing partner and a huge supporter of New Idea Machine since day one. I remember when we were first thinking about the concept, we had you folks at a table in the Inception use space, and we were kind of whiteboarding some ideas with Pete LaFontaine, and the amount of support that you've offered us right from day one has been amazing. So I just want to thank you very much for that.
Oh, well, thank you for the kind words. And again, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, I think that's our entire community is a pay it forward attitude. It doesn't matter if it's from, the early stage tech to the higher end investors that are out there. They collaborate, they invest together, we work together, we grow as a community. And when I talk at conferences, or I talk in podcasts all around North America, that is probably what everybody talks about, and it's from government down, and we have a really good thing here. So we have it going for us, and I'm liking what we're doing, and we're stronger for it.
Thank you. And speaking of podcasts, you cool if I plug Libby?
Oh, I've already have when you were not there, but now you can give
awesome.
it the official plug.
Yeah, please join us all. It's the only podcast that I know of in the world where it's an ecosystem interviewing an ecosystem. And I got these brand new stickers. So if you want to hit me up when you see me in person for a Libby sticker, Leaders, Innovators, and Big Ideas podcast for Rainforest, Alberta. And it's at libi.ca. So easy to find.
No, absolutely. Get it out there. Check it out. Check out the Rainforest. Check out the Libby podcast. If you want to be a host, we're always looking for hosts, always looking for people to interview. And I've done both. It's been awesome. I support it, and I think it's cool. And I'm always sad though when our conversations have to come to an end. But with being a wily old vet, you and I, and I'm looking forward to your answer here. So my last question for you, Al, is, if you had one piece of advice for an entrepreneur startup, what would that be?
I think it would be take advice, but not every piece of advice is something that you have to go for. But you have to be open-minded to listen to it. And when multiple people tell you the same thing, it's probably good advice. There's businesses that fail because they decide they're not going to listen to people. They're going to do it their own way. And I think listening to people like Pure Guidance. If you're starting a company, the first person you should be talking to is Jade Alberts and Pure Guidance, Mo Aladdin and Pete LaFontaine. Those guys are going to give you a ton of information. They're going to get you started on the right foot. And there's you don't have to be alone. I'm here at Platform Calgary, one of the most amazing places for entrepreneurs to be. I mean, you're starting a new business. You need to live here. You need to just show up here every day, flip open your laptop, and make connections. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now, but take advice from the right places, and at the same time, you don't have to listen to every piece of advice if your gut doesn't work with it. It's maybe not for you.
And I'm going to say that's one piece of advice you should listen to. But absolutely, I always tell the entrepreneurs, you know what? Trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. In the end, it's your business. It's your if worst case scenario, if it is going to fail and things don't go right, at least it's done by things that you thought was right. And I mean, it's hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. Startups are hard. And I mean, if you come out there and you think, oh my God, I listened to this person, and it failed, and you said, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I mean, you take that out of the equation. You go out there, you do what you think is right. If it fails, you fails fast. You try something different.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it never hurts to listen and talk to people. And I think that's great, Al. And again, I want to thank you for everything that you do in our ecosystem. Thank you for coming on, sharing your knowledge today. For all that you give back to the Canadian Blockchain Consortium as well. We really appreciate. So thank you for that. And as my tagline always says, keep on being awesome. And I enjoy every moment I get to spend with you.
Thank you, Jade. The feeling is mutual. It's just an honor to know you, Jade. You're just an awesome dude.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, I mean, everybody who, get out there. We're going to be hosting the Alberta Technology Symposium here in a couple of weeks. Tickets are available. You'll meet 300 plus people of the great innovators, leaders that we have here. So, come on out. Tickets are available. Click on the comment section. I'll take a look. There's been some comments in the LinkedIn for you to check out. And you know what? Enjoy the rest of your day at Platform there. And I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Thanks, Jade. Take care, everybody.
All right, Alan. Everybody have a great day. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.